Hello friends, this is Nick and you're now entering into the world of the Night Owl. So sit back, grab your drink and snack of choice as we look into a mass murder case that will blow your mind. Do you believe in vampires? No? Well, not so fast. Just stick around until the ending of the story and you might just change your mind. But before we do, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button a couple of mice, that would make the Night Owl very happy. Otherwise, enjoy. Bella Kiss was a womanizer. Bella Kiss was very wealthy, but Bella Kiss was also a killer. The year is 1912. Bella is 35 years old, living in a small town called Cincota in Hungary. He had just recently married his love, Marie, who was 15 years younger than him. But just as soon as his marriage had begun, it came to a blood-filled end. This failed marriage would start a new beginning for Bella, a beginning that would cost 23 young women and one man their lives. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's take one step back to how it all started. Soon after they married, Bella's wife Marie would start having an affair on the side with a young artist named Bakari. And who's to blame her? Bella himself was a womanizer and almost twice her age. So Marie decided she enjoyed her newfound love and she wanted to run away from her marriage to be with the young artist. And of course, this didn't sit well with Bella. Now Marie was always known to be outgoing and she loved to be a part of the scene. She loved to be around people. So not long after she ran away from her marriage, her fellow citizens began to notice that she hadn't been around the public for some time, and they knew something wasn't quite right because this just isn't Marie. That's not how she is. She loved to visit shops and she loved to spark up conversations nearly every single day. So it didn't take long for some of Marie's friends to ask Bella if he knew where Marie had been, and Bella said, "Yes, I know exactly where she's been. She has run off with that young artist to America." And well, of course they believed him. They had no reason not to at the time. They had no reason not to because he had a good status around the town. Also, he was good looking, charming, and he was successful. Plus, they knew Marie had been having an affair, and she had lost interest in her marriage. So it's not crazy to think that she could have wanted a new life somewhere else. But still, there were a few that didn't quite believe him or his story. So as things started to settle down for Bella, he continued to use his good looks and charm to bring women home. Bella especially liked widows, wealthy widows. He often used them just for their money. We know this because Bella's housekeeper witnessed him bringing all these women home. Bella's housekeeper, landlord, and many of his neighbors had started to notice a dark side that started to appear within Bella. He had become very invested in an occult and would carry out rituals in his own home. But where things really took a weird turn is his housekeeper had started to notice that sometimes she would see women show up to Bella's residence, but she hardly ever saw him leave. On top of the fact that Bella had started collecting many large metal barrels, claiming with World War I looming, he used them to stockpile gas just to be safe. But how does that make sense? Even with a war looming, how could you possibly need that much fuel? This is the same questions his neighbors, landlord, and maid also had. But again, Bella was liked around the small town, so even though he seemed off at the time, people mostly just brushed it off, and they trusted Bella, they trusted his actions. So problems wouldn't begin to arise for Bella until about 2 years later, in 1914. 1914 was the year Bella would be drafted into the war, and would continue to fight for at least a few years. But the war being so treacherous and nobody hearing from Bella for such a long time, many including his landlord had thought Bella had died in battle. Because of this, the landlord got curious to why Bella had been acting so weird lately, and he intended to find out. Plus, it was time to get the place in shape to be rented out again anyways. So the landlord began snooping around the interior of the home, looking for any sign or any clue. To his dismay, all he could find were some old letters to and from women Bella frequented. It was time to leave. But wait, what about all those barrels sitting outside? Those have to go somewhere, right? So the landlord had decided he would just help the war. He wanted to help the cause and donate all the fuel to the military. Okay, good plan. That sounds like the right thing to do, right? He decides to start tidying up a bit. But as he's rolling the first barrel, he notices that the sound coming from the barrel doesn't resemble the sloshing of fuel inside. So he decides that it's time to open one up for good measure. Plus, he's honestly just curious at this point. As he cracks the lid, this awful stench hits him like a train. The smell of something rotting, like something's dead. So he looks into the barrel's contents and what he sees next is straight out of a nightmare. The strangled corpse of a woman, soaking in some sort of alcoholic liquid being used to pickle her body. In horror, he immediately calls the authorities to begin a search of the property, the barrels, and all the secrets it held. The authorities come rushing in, and after a search of the property, authorities had found 24 bodies in total, all found in the same barrels, either located in his home or buried into the woods next to it. As you can probably guess, 2 of the bodies found were the bodies of Bella's wife Marie and her lover Bakari. As crazy as this sounds, it gets even a bit stranger. Trust me. You see, everybody they found shared 3 like qualities. 1, they were all nude. 2, they were all strangled. And 3, they all had puncture marks on their necks and they were drained of blood, showing that Bella had been practicing vampirism, giving him the name the Hungarian Vampire. As authorities dug deeper into Bella's home, they found a secret room that was completely locked up. After they entered the room with force, authorities found books teaching Bella of vampirism, the occult, poisons, and strangulation. What's damning for Bella is many of the letters from the women he killed were found in the same room, proving the books, even the one detailing vampirism, were tied to the murders themselves. This guy was literally a monster, a true American nightmare. After finding all the damning evidence against Bella, authorities began searching to find out if Bella had actually died in the war or not. They were eventually able to track down the last known location at a hospital in Serbia, so quickly they traveled to the same hospital to capture their man, only to find out that Bella had yet one more trick up his sleeve. As authorities approached the room Bella was supposed to be located in, they found the body of a fellow soldier killed in war that Bella had placed there to make his escape, and well, his escape was successful. So successful, in fact, that it led authorities to a dead end, a cold case. Throughout the years leading up to 1932, many supposed sightings of Bella would occur, but none leading to his actual capture. It is thought that he possibly stole the identity of the dead soldier that he placed in his hospital bed to fall under the radar. Nevertheless, Bella was never captured, and to this day we may never know whatever happened to the infamous Hungarian vampire, or how many missing people he could be responsible for. So let me ask you a question. Do you believe in vampires? Comment down below. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like creepy and mysterious content, then this is the channel for you. If so, please smash that like and subscribe button and take a look at my last video about the Candyman murders. I think you might like it, but only if you feel inclined to do so. Anyways, thank you and God bless.